welcome. Have you ever looked at a business that's just absolutely crushing it and wondered, how? What's their secret? Well, it's usually not about some flashy marketing trick. Often, there's a secret engine humming away behind the scenes. And today, we're going to pop the hood and take a look.
I mean, it's the million-dollar question, isn't it? You can have two companies, side by side, selling basically the same thing. One becomes a massive success, and the other just fizzles out. What really makes the difference?
And here it is. The secret is so often their mastery of operations management. Now I know what you're thinking. That sounds like a super boring term from a business textbook, but trust me, it's not. It's the actual practical magic of getting things done right. It's what turns a chaotic mess into a smooth, well-oiled machine.
To make this all feel real and, frankly, a lot more fun, we're going to use a simple and delicious example. Let's pretend we're running Kristen's Cookie Co. We're going to see exactly how good operations can make our cookie empire and how bad operations can totally sink it. Ready? Let's get into it. Okay, first things first, we have to draw the blueprint. Why? Because you can't fix a problem if you can't even see it, right? So before we start tweaking things at Kristen's Cookie Co., we've got to map out every single step, from getting an order to that cookie landing in a happy customer's hand. It's all about getting that bird's eye view. Just think about it for a second. Let's say your cookies keep coming out burnt. Is the oven too hot? Is the baker getting distracted? Is the recipe wrong? If you don't have a map of the process, you're just taking wild guesses in the dark. So for our little cookie company, the map might look pretty simple. Kind of like this. Step 1, mix the dough. Step 2, bake the cookies. Step 3, pack the orders. And finally, Step 4, sell them to the customer. Just seeing it laid out like this is a huge first step.
And that's exactly what we call process mapping. You're literally creating a visual flowchart, a blueprint for how work actually gets done. This little map, it becomes your secret weapon for finding all the hidden problems and figuring out where you can get faster and smarter. It's the foundation for everything else we're going to talk about.
All right, so we've got our blueprint. We know the steps. Now for part 2, building the workshop. Because, a great plan doesn't mean much if the kitchen itself is a total disaster. How you physically set up your space is a massive deal. Now this is super interesting. There are 2 main ways we could set up our kitchen. On one hand, you've got the product layout. Think of it like a classic assembly line. Perfect if we're just cranking out thousands of identical chocolate chip cookies. It's all about speed. But on the other hand, there's the process layout. This is more like a custom bakery, where you group all the ovens in one spot, all the mixers in another. It's way more flexible and perfect if you're making all sorts of different custom cookies. Your layout has to match your product.
And of course, how we set up the kitchen really depends on how many cookies we think we're going to sell. Are we expecting 10 people to walk in or 1,000? That's where forecasting comes in. It's basically predicting the future so you can have the right number of people, the right amount of flour, and the right number of ovens ready to go.
Okay, kitchen set. We've got a decent guess on our orders. Now we get to the really fun part. Section 3, mastering the flow. This is the daily juggling act, making sure we have enough supplies but not too many, and making sure every single cookie is perfect. You know this nightmare scenario. It's the middle of the crazy holiday season, and you suddenly run out of chocolate chips. It's a total disaster. Or the opposite. You buy a mountain of flour, and it just sits there for months, taking up space and tying up your cash. That's the inventory tightrope walk. So how do you avoid that catastrophe? One of the simplest, most brilliant ideas is something called safety stock. It is exactly what it sounds like. It's that extra, just-in-case buffer of ingredients you keep on hand for a surprise rush or a late delivery. It's the bag of flour that saves your business. But here's the thing. You don't treat all your ingredients equally. That's where this idea, ABC analysis, comes in. Your A items, that's your super expensive gourmet chocolate, make up most of the value, so you track them like a hawk. Your C items, like salt or spices, they're cheap, you don't need to stress as much. It's about putting your energy where the money is. So let's say we've nailed our inventory. We have exactly the right amount of everything. But what if half the cookies that come out of the oven are burnt? All that careful planning is for nothing if the quality is bad. And that brings us to quality management. This isn't just about having someone taste test the cookies at the very end. No, it's about building a system that prevents mistakes from happening in the first place. It's about consistency. It's about making sure that every single customer gets that perfect cookie experience every single time. Okay, let's pull back. We've mapped our process, we've built our workshop, and we're mastering the flow of supplies and quality. In this final section, we're going to see how all these nitty-gritty details add up to something huge, the operations advantage. This is where we go from just running the business to actually growing it.
Baking cookies every day is one kind of challenge. But what about a massive one-time only event? Like, what if we want to launch a whole new line of gluten-free cookies or open a brand new shop in another city? That's not a routine operation. That's a project.
And for that, you need a different set of tools called project management. This is the playbook for handling those big, unique, temporary jobs. It's how you make sure that big, exciting launch happens on time and on budget without completely wrecking your normal day-to-day cookie business. So, when you boil it all down, what's the whole point of great operations? It really comes down to these three things. First, you maximize efficiencies so you waste less time and money. Second, you ensure amazing quality so your customers are happy and keep coming back. And third, you use that strong foundation to build a real strategy for smart, powerful growth.
I absolutely love this quote because it just nails it. Anybody can have an idea for a cookie company, right? But the people who succeed are the ones who can actually execute that idea flawlessly, consistently, day in and day out. That execution, that's operations. And that is incredibly rare.
And that's a wrap. But I want to leave you with one last question. This stuff isn't just for big businesses. Think about your own life, your morning routine, the way you study for a test, how you pack for a vacation. What's one process that you could map out and make just a little bit better? The principles are exactly the same. Thanks so much for tuning in.